Hello, my name is Owen Canini and I am a second year student here at Trent University. I'm enrolled in the teacher education stream with a major in English and a minor in history because I would like those to be my two teachables when I become a teacher. Over the course of my time at Trent, I've learned so much from so many great teachers like Karen, as well as all the other kind students who have opened up and shared their thoughts, beliefs, and ideas with me. And all of these have helped me formulate my own type of philosophy of education that I'd like to share with you today. I started creating this philosophy of education around this time last year, and ever since then it's continued to grow and improve. So there's 5 main concepts within my philosophy of education that I truly believe will help provide a better learning environment and better educational experience to my future students. The 5 concepts that I would like to focus on are inclusivity, equity, nature, technology, and freedom. And I'm excited to take a deeper dive into and further explain all of these concepts and how I plan to use them within this video. My first priority as a teacher is to create inclusivity both in my classroom and around the school I work in. Within my class, I want to make sure that all students feel comfortable walking through the door every single day and have a strong sense of belonging. During one of my placements last year, I helped out in a kindergarten classroom in Toronto where a majority of the students were not from Canada and came with English as a second language. I'm sure this is not easy for young students to come to a new country and face language barriers and also not know anyone when going into school for the first time. Many of these kids feel excluded because they aren't able to join groups and make friends as easy as everyone else, which is why I feel it is very important to create in-class activities that bring the whole group together and help out all children. One way I saw of making every student feel comfortable and included in the classroom by the teacher was the idea of a daily leader. The daily leader was one student that was picked, a new one every day, to lead the class line to gym or music wherever they were going to go, read the morning calendar to the students, and also bring something from home to share with the rest of the class. Every student gets the opportunity to be the daily leader, and you could see the excitement on every child's face when they got the chance to be the daily leader. It gives them the opportunity to share about themselves to the class, and also it teaches the other kids respect and inclusion, and they get the opportunity to learn about one of their other classmates. Daily leader is definitely something I would like to implement in one of my classes should I be teaching a younger classroom. Other ways I would like to create inclusivity in my classroom is the idea of group activities and group work. Some where the students get to pick their own groups so they have the opportunity to work with their friends, they can be comfortable in that environment, and others where I get to pick the groups so that they can go around, maybe work with new people, learn from new people, and create new friendships. Besides that, I'd like to do the little things, saying hi to each student when they enter, say bye when they leave. And I know this is tough with classroom sizes. I'd still like to try to find time during the days throughout the week just to talk individually to each student, whether it's about school or anything going on in their lives, just to create that personal connection and make them feel important. The next major concept within my philosophy of education is equity. Equity often gets confused with equality. However, these two concepts are very different. Equality just tries to provide the same amount of resources and opportunity for everyone, whereas equity understands not everyone starts in the same place. Different kids have different needs and different learning situations, so it works on providing education and resources that help balance these imbalances. During one of our modules last year, a video that really stuck out to me was Carly's story. Carly was a special needs girl who needed a lot of extra resources from her family and electronics to help her communicate what she was thinking. Obviously, not every child needs all these extra resources like Carly needed. However, for the individual student like Carly, it makes such a difference to help get her the support she needs to help her communicate the way she wanted to. This is why providing different resources for different students is very important to me and what I want to do when I am teaching in a classroom. Equity does not only come in the form of special needs, though. It can come in a whole bunch of different ways that as a teacher you need to be aware of. Some students may not have enough food at home, which is why I'd like to have a bin of snacks in my classroom for them to grab from. Some kids might not be able to sleep properly at home, which is why maybe in a younger class I have a corner with some bean bags for them to take a nap on. There's just a whole bunch of other things that you don't know where a student's coming from, what their background is, what their home life is like, and it's important to, even if you can't fully understand if they don't want to share their experience, just make them comfortable, help them out, and provide whatever they need to make sure they can be successful within the classroom. The next concept in my philosophy of education that I'd like to talk about is nature. Throughout this course, we've learned so much about nature and the environment, and the different ways different students can connect with it all. For example, we've learned that Indigenous students often connect on a much more spiritual level with the land due to their upbringing and their culture. It'd be very cool that if in school these Indigenous students got the opportunity to learn some of their class lessons outside and do different activities outside where they feel very comfortable. On the other hand, it would be a great learning opportunity for other students from different cultures to either learn from other Indigenous students or even myself more about the Indigenous culture, what the land means to them, and how important it can be, because then maybe they'll gain a bigger appreciation of the land and the nature. The fourth concept in my philosophy of education is technology. We've talked a lot in our class about the constant rise in technology and the way it is being used more and more within all classrooms today. There are both pros and cons when it comes to technology, but one thing for certain is that technology is inevitable. Most students already have their own forms of technology, whether that be a phone or an iPad or whatever else they're carrying around. And at this point, schools are going as far as providing technology and supplying kids with different types just to help them have their own forms of technology in the classroom. We see technology all over schools, even in our own class at Trent, whether that be logging onto Blackboard to post an assignment or view PowerPoints, or simple things like going onto the Jamboard to post notes and using computer programs to set the groups for activities in our class. It is important to keep up with the times, and that is why it's important to me to use technology in my classroom. All the kids are going to be using technology anyways, so it would be good if I can lead them in the right direction and make sure they're using the technology for good and not straying off the path and using it for whatever else it can be used for. Within my class, I'm going to have certain things set up on the computer where maybe we do activities, you can get rewarded with game time, and we'll do lessons on the computer as well, and any other things, because I'm sure by the time I'm a teacher, even more technology will come out. I plan to be open to and learning from so that I can teach it to students and they can learn from it as well. The last concept in my philosophy of education is freedom, and I want to make sure that I provide freedom to every student in my class. In my first ever placement, I was in a grade 3 class where a lot of kids were on their own individual education plan. Some of them had access to leaving the room and going for a walk around the building. Others had rocking chairs instead of regular chairs to help their nerves and calm down whatever they needed. In my class, I want to give students the freedom to all these different resources, such as going for a walk or using rocking chairs, because I want to make sure each student has whatever they need to be calm and enjoy the learning environment they're in. Providing freedom in my class also means I will allow the kids to have freedom of speech. I want to create a safe space where every kid feels they are able to share their own opinions and beliefs or whatever else is going on in their lives, because I believe it's detrimental to a student's learning if they don't feel comfortable sharing whatever is going on or how they are feeling. I want to make sure that each student feels safe talking to all their classmates and me individually and expressing who they are, and it is very important to me that both freedom of mobility and freedom of speech are implemented in my classroom. In conclusion, my philosophy of education includes inclusivity, equity, nature, technology, and freedom, because I believe all these things are very important to creating a positive environment for students to learn in and creating a place where students can get an equal and fair chance at a successful education. Thank you for listening.